Cascade Hoops Talk, this is Billy D. Well, big Wednesday night. Things are starting to get clearer and clearer. One more big day to go in NAIA regular season, which is Saturday. Why don't you buckle up? Cascade Hoops Talk starts right now. Cascade Hoops Talk, produced in the shadow of the beautiful Cascade Mountains and bringing the world NAIA basketball. One podcast at a time. Well, everybody's been taking their turn beating up on Grace in the Crossroads the last, since February 1st. And tonight it was Bethel's turn. Bethel beat them in Mishawaka 85-73. So Grace goes to 24-3, and they're going to host Goshen on Saturday to wrap up the regular season. Well, when I get to Bethel, we'll talk more about that game. Indiana Wesleyan hosted Marion last night. They beat them 88-68. This was a close game. Indiana Wesleyan looked a little sluggish in the first half, but they really came on in the second half and ended up winning this game by 20. Cademan Bontrager, 19 points, 3 rebounds. Julius Gizzy, 17 points. They go to 22-4, and they're going to host Bethel on Saturday. So those Bethel Pilots, they beat Grace 85-73. I just kept waiting for Grace to go on a run. A friend of mine said, who's going to win? I go, well, Grace is going to go on a run. Grace is going to go on a run. And they never did. Give credit, all the credit in the world to the Bethel Pilots. They beat them 85-73, as I said. Austin Kripe, 18 points, 3 rebounds. Alanis Pesciulis, 15 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists. The big senior really came to play last night. So Bethel goes to 22-5, and they're going to be at Indiana Wesleyan on Saturday, as we said. Huntington fell in a really tough game. Good hats off to St. Francis. Huntington definitely, you hate to say should have won this game, but they had every chance in the world. Let's just say it that. But St. Francis, they hung in there tough on the road. The Platte's a tough place to play, and they beat Huntington 62-61. Mara Vance, 17 points, 4 rebounds, and Carson Rogers, 17 points, 16 rebounds. That's right, big boy double-double. So Huntington goes to 20-7, and they're going to be at Marion on Saturday. So I did get the rest of the scores I had some trouble last night getting scores and stats. I think I went through all these already. Taylor beat Spring Arbor, and that's important. I'll show you in a moment here. So look at these standings. There's really the only story right now, because with the win last night, St. Francis they're already safely in the number 8 spot. Anyway, they're making the playoffs. But Huntington and Taylor are dead tied, and I don't know who has the tiebreaker on that. I believe Grace has the tiebreaker. Indiana Wesleyan can't catch them. But that Huntington and Taylor for the home playoff spot. So Huntington is going to be at Marion on the road on Saturday, and Taylor, that tough trip into Mount Vernon Nazarene, and people have been having trouble over there. And then Bethel is going to be at Indiana Wesleyan. I'm not sure if they can move up a spot or not, but both those teams want to go into the playoffs with a win. In the Sun Conference, Ave Maria, they defeated St. Thomas 89-68. Jack Watkins, 20 points, 5 rebounds, and Jonathan Efforts, 18 points, 3 rebounds. Also in this game, and I couldn't find it, but I believe, and somebody could tell me if I'm right or not, I think Michael Klekas became the all-time leading scorer at Ave Maria last night. He needed 6 or 7 points. I know he had 7 points. I think he hit it, but I couldn't find it anywhere. Anyway, somebody let me know. Ave Maria goes to 24-3, and they're going to be at Southeastern on Saturday. And then Kaiser, they won at they were at Florida Memorial, and they won 87-52. Cameron James, 23 points, 3 rebounds. Nadir Myers, 16 points. Kaiser goes to 23-3, but more importantly, we'll talk about this conference in a moment. So you can see here, Kaiser got the win, Ave Maria got the win, and Weber International beat Coastal Georgia, and that's important. I'll show you as well. Let's go to the standings. So according, Ave Maria and Kaiser are tied. The announcers on Ave Maria indicated that Kaiser had, I believe they said this, don't hold it to me, but I believe they said Kaiser had the tiebreaker because they said Ave Maria is going to need some help. That Kaiser either had to lose last night, which didn't happen, or on Saturday at Coastal Georgia. So those two teams play huge games, and with tonight's results, these two teams are tied for the last playoff spot. Coastal Georgia and Weber International. So on Saturday, last game of the regular season, Ave Maria has to go to Southeastern. Tough trip. Weber International is going to be at Warner, and Kaiser is going to be at Coastal Georgia. So Weber's a big Kaiser fan on Saturday. So, Kaiser has the clearer route. I don't know. Coastal Georgia is tough. And so is Southeastern. So that's probably not a fair statement to make. But Saturday is going to be very, very interesting in the Sun Conference. In the KCAC, Oklahoma Wesleyan, boy, they battled Evangel. Evangel kind of had them in some trouble, but the Eagles just really toughened up and just out-toughed them down the stretch. It was a very physical game, too. Tamaje Azwagbe, he had 18 points, 3 rebounds. That dude is everywhere on the court. Jaden Wilson, 13 points, 4 rebounds. The Eagles, they go to 24-3, and they're not gonna host Evangel on Wednesday. Jeez, Billy. They're gonna be at McPherson on Saturday. And friends, they beat Southwestern 77-74. The Jinx came looking for them, but they couldn't quite knock them off. Randy Wolf, 17 points, 4 rebounds. Khalees Lee, 19 points, 3 rebounds. Friends goes to 22-5, and they're going to be at Bethany on Saturday. Here's the rest of the results. I'm not going to read them all to you, but McPherson won. That no score came through. That was a whole nother story last night with Presto Sports. Oh my goodness. Bethel won, and I think I went through the rest of them. Friends beat Southwestern, but the Avila victory. Pay attention to that. Let's go to the standings. This is the biggest. This right here. 11-10. Avila and Kansas Wesleyan are dead tied for that last playoff spot. Southwestern's not going to break into that top 4. I mean, nothing else is going to happen up here. I mean, McPherson and Bethel maybe could switch positions, but this is the big one. Avila and one of these teams is going to play in the conference playoffs, and one of these teams is going to go home and shine their golf clubs up. That's where we're at. So Kansas Wesleyan is going to be at Ottawa. McPherson's going to host Oklahoma Wesleyan. That's a little bit of a vanity game, I would say. Bethel's going to host York. Avila is going to be at Tabor. And Friends, hang on, I'm messing up. Kansas Wesleyan. Okay, Kansas Wesleyan is going to be at Ottawa. Sorry for that. And Avila is going to be at Tabor. So Tabor struggled this year. Can they stop Avila and do Kansas Wesleyan a favor? I don't know, but those two teams are battling out for that last spot. In the AAC, Pikeville, they beat Union 68-64. They go to 24-3. Bradley Bunch, 20 points, 8 rebounds, and Keenan Cutlip, 15 points, 2 rebounds. and they're gonna host Montreat on Saturday in their final regular season game. I could not get any standings. I'll explain that to you in a moment. Graceland tonight, they defeated Grandview. I couldn't get a score or anything. Everything just froze up on Presto Sports, and then a lot of the conference websites I couldn't even get to open up. Everything just stopped. But I was able to find this score. Graceland won this game 81-73. So here. So they go to 22-5, and they're going to host Baker on Saturday. And I couldn't get the Hart standings or the AAC standings. I just kept getting this. And this was not helpful. So I'm very, very sorry because, it's almost like the NAIA's equivalent of the Heidi game. Now, if you're an old person, you know what I'm talking about. But it's one of the biggest nights of the year because everybody's trying to make the playoffs or get position, and boom, you can't get the standings and the final scores. Anyway, I did what I could, and I apologize. So be back with me tomorrow. I'll try to fill you in as much as I can. I appreciate everybody who listens, and I'm very, very sorry that I couldn't get all the various standings. I was able to get a lot of them, and then everything just completely stopped. So anyway, enough whining. I'll be back with you tomorrow, and don't forget to get out and support your favorite NAIA team, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Thank you very much for supporting our podcast. Please like and subscribe. Get out to your local NAIA school because NAIA basketball is the best entertainment value in America.